Welcome back, first timers. You've seen us buy this boat, learn how to drive that boat, and take her out in the water and have a good time.
But in this installment of First Timers Get Naughty, we're stepping our boating game up to the next level.
We're going to be doing an honest review of the West Marine 6x6 floating dock that we got on clearance. Extreme clearance.
Discount!
So we're gonna unbox this, get it out on the water, and let Terry give the test to see if she feels comfortable floating on this platform.
My relaxation station. The West Marine 6x6 floating dock was originally priced at $660, but we got it on a deep discount. It was already discounted to $395, and we got it for another 50% off of that, so under 200 bucks. Let's bust open this box and see what's inside. One orange thingy, repair kit. Looks like it's the pump to pump it up. Oh God. Oh. Boy. One very heavy floating deck. It's a little tricky to get undone here. If you'd like to watch me struggle opening other things, check out this video right here. Okay, I'm gonna need some help. Duties, can you help me? Thanks, David, for the assistance. And there you have it. One floating deck. Inside the pump bag, it comes with this pretty heavy duty pump, a hose, and some sort of washer or O-ring.
It does look pretty big. It has a nice textured gripped top, so it'll help you kind of stay in place and not slip around on top of this thing. Also, the plastic or rubber that it's made out of, it seems pretty thick and durable, and it does have 4 separate D-rings, so you can hook it up to ropes if you want to try and keep it in place or connected to a boat. My major concern right now is it's been sitting probably in storage for years because it's been on clearance and then double clearance. There's some pretty deep creases on the material itself. Let's see how that holds up when we get some air inside, and then also as it's exposed to water and sun and over time. We're gonna get the dock on the boat, and we're gonna take the old gal out tomorrow to give it the test. It doesn't come with a pneumatic pump, so it is a manual pump, so we're gonna see how hard it is for Terry to pump this thing up tomorrow. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the water. Made it back to Crab Island without a hitch.
Literally.
On the way to the dock, the hitch pin popped out, or I forgot to put it, so probably user error. The entire trailer popped off the tow hitch, and thankfully I had the safety chains on because the boat didn't get away, but it was a little nerve-wracking there for a second. We're here now. It's a little choppy, it's a little windy, it's not that cold, but if you watched our last installment of our First Timers Get Naughty series, we were out here about a week ago, and it was a lot less busy. So as we get closer to summer, there's gonna be a whole lot more boats out here. So we're here now, we got a nice little space around us, and we're going to test out this West Marine floating dock for the first time. If you haven't seen any of our other boating videos before, we have a 1981 Boston Whaler. It's a 17-foot Montauk, and it's a little crammed. So we're gonna try and maneuver the space that we have and get this dock inflated and in the water. I was gonna give Terry a hand, but she says she's got this, so I'm gonna step away.
Not sure this boat's big enough. I'm gonna unravel the dock, get it laid out here on the boat, start pumping it up, and then we'll put it in the water. Again, this stupid bill. there are 0 instructions with this dock, so I'm just winging it right now. Secure. Now I think it's time for pumping. Definitely a workout. It's getting hot. Couple more pumps. All right, switch.
It's starting to get some air. I know with these, some of them come with electric pumps, and that would be pretty neat. Like an electric pump, kind of get it to the 90% full, and then maybe use one of these for like the last little bit. But right now the air's going in.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, this pump's actually pretty good. From what I can tell with hand pumps, it has a really big air chamber, and then the grip is actually pretty ergonomic and feels good in my hands. It is hard plastic, but it's not like it's gonna eat into your hands or anything. The gauge shows the PSI. That's not doing anything, so I'm not sure. I think that's just once it's full, we'll get some back pressure and it'll tell us how much pressure's inside the actual platform. If you have a place to sit, it's perfect height for sitting. There's little foot pedestals for your feet to hold it down, and then you can just kind of chug along. So I got this thing really tight right now, but the pressure gauge isn't showing any pressure. It says to fill to 8 PSI and showing no pressure, but this thing is pretty taut. So the pump has double action and single action mode. So the double action, you're putting air in when you pull up and when you push down, but you're fighting pressure both ways. With the single action, you have no pressure when you pull up and only pressure when you pull down. All right, I stand corrected. The pressure gauge does work. Just didn't have enough air in it. We got to 8, and I'll tell you, at the 4 PSI mark, I would recommend switching it over to single action, because that double action, it's pretty tight when you're at 4 and leading into 8. So switch it over once it's time to get real tight. I think that's probably by design. You can use the double action feature to fill it up quickly, and then you switch over to single action to get it real tight when you're trying to get to 8 PSI. Those are probably things that I would put into an instruction manual had this come with one. Maybe there's one on the line. We didn't look. We went straight for what was on the box and in the box, and there was no instruction manual there. We're ready to get this bad boy in the water.
Let me test this thing out. Graceful. It definitely floats. I don't know if I would recommend standing up on this. It's like you're surfing. Definitely can stand on it, if you're careful. We've secured it on both sides with the D-rings to the boat with some rope, and now David's gonna get on.
Woo. All right, we're on. It's actually surprisingly stable. What do you think?
Ooh. It's good. It's comfy. I can lay out here, work on my tan, and be in the water.
I know we commented yesterday when we were unwrapping this thing that there were creases in it. We were worried about its longevity or ability to hold pressure. What it looks like is those creases are just in the non-skid mat that are attached to the floating dock itself. So I don't think those will be an issue, especially for getting it half off and then another half off. For under $200, we got a dock that if you're gonna go with one of the other big name brands, you're probably gonna spend close to $1,000. So I think we'll be pretty good with this one. We'll be able to use it at least through this summer. If you got a West Marine around you, make sure that you shop their discounts. Get there early in the mornings. It doesn't seem like they have a schedule when the clearance items come out, but just periodically when I've been in there early in the morning, they'll be tagging things 50% off or 50 on 50. So we've just been lounging on this dock for a little bit. It's a 6x6, so it's not the biggest, but you can fit 2 adults, as long as they're not giants, on this thing pretty well. And it has a 6-inch thickness, so we're completely out of the water. We're not sinking. We both can stand up on here if we want. And I know in the pictures you could have chairs and like an ice chest. It is a little cramped for that unless it was like one ice chest and a small chair. But for 2 people just laying around and hanging out, it definitely adds an extra 36 square foot to our tiny little boat.
Yeah, I think you could fit probably a 3rd person on here if you were all just sitting up. But if you want to lay down, probably 2 is the max you're going to fit on here.
And this non-skid mat actually stays relatively cool. It is darker, it's kind of like a faux wood look, but it hasn't gotten hot. It's not getting soggy or anything like that.
It's definitely waterproof or water resistant because you can see the water beating up on it.
So far, pretty impressed with this, and definitely for the price. It was worth it.
I'm here with your Crab Island weather report. It's the 3rd week in April. Today the high is about 82. The water is 77 degrees, and the winds are 5 to 10 knots for you nautical people.
My only real knock of the floating platform is that it's touted as a 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 inch floating platform. I'm not 6 foot, and my feet and head hang over both edges when I lay on the platform. However, when I lay diagonally, it is about 6 feet. I think they're measuring the 6 feet diagonally, not across. It's not 6 by 6, it's 6 by 6. So just keep that in mind when you're buying it. It's about 5 foot 6 inches across, but 6 foot diagonally. As I've been laying here, I've started to love this more and more. So we've had this boat for a year, and it's a 17 foot Montauk. We oftentimes complain about how little space there is once you add everything that you're required to have, but then also all the niceties like an ice chest or a backpack and all that stuff. And so we've kind of even toyed with the idea of maybe upgrading the boat eventually for under $200. And I know we got it on discount, but keep your eyes open. I'm sure you can find something somewhere else. For under $200, we've been able to drastically increase the size of our boat and give us a lot more area to hang out in. The other thing is I'm relatively heavy, and I've been able to stand all the way on the edge, all my weight on it, and water doesn't come up. So this thing is very, very sturdy, and it is very buoyant. Now it's time for Terry to get this thing out of the water, deflated and wrapped up so we can head on home.
Helps if you untie it. That wasn't too bad, if you remember to untie it. Now it looks like you just depress this little pin and it should deflate. That's real loud. It deflates pretty fast if you can get past that initial shock of how loud it is. And then it looks like you just have to squeeze it a little bit to get the rest of the air out. That's probably a 2-person job. We'll be right back.
There is a way to twist the valve so it stays open, so you can really do this with one person. Just fold it over, squeeze out the air. We're not gonna get it all the way down because we're gonna get it home and wash it first. It's a really nice addition to be able to do that so you don't have to hold it and squeeze. We were able to wrap that thing up pretty easily, and that strap that comes with it was very helpful. But we got an afternoon storm rolling in, and we're gonna try and get back across the bay before we hit any weather we don't want to deal with. But if you like this video, check out this entire First Timers Getting Naughty series where we did all kinds of other boat stuff. Thanks again for following along in this episode, and join us next time when we try something else new for the first time.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. First timers.
High five.